The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Wednesday, the 27th day of October, 2021. Welcome to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House One Communications and Lindos. I'm Jamel Hartman, along with Sherry Vanderpool, and Leanna Lambert will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Sherry, it is hump day. How are you doing, sister?
It is. I had some good rest last night. I was trying to stay up for, of course, to watch the Braves. Last night, look, they were up 5-1, so I don't know what it is. I said the one thing about baseball that I remember now, I was like, it is long. But other than that, I am doing well. I got my coffee, I got my mug, I got the daily hour.
Yeah. You know what? You mentioned that. I tried my best to stay awake as well, Sherry. And,
Mhm.
you know, baseball is like a longer version of basketball and a shorter version of cricket. And so like you got to be prepared to go. But I think it was 5-1, 5-2 when I fell asleep. But anyway, the crazy thing about last night is the Braves starting pitcher got injured in the third inning, and he continued playing. Right? Sorry,
Yeah.
injured in the second inning, continued playing into the third inning. Come to find out, he had a fracture or a break in his ankle, in his leg, or something like
I
that.
s-
And
I did see a limping at one point.
yeah, he basically it was a comeback. He one of the batsmen hit the ball pretty hard back against him, and so yeah, cracked his bone, and he was upset that he couldn't go more. But hey, it's World
Of
Series. You
course.
never know when you'll make it
I
back. But
know.
good morning, everyone, and thanks for making this part of your daily routine. Another good one today as we welcome our friend and partner Brian Lungerman from One Communications to discuss some new updates. The Daily Play is Say It, Don't Sing It. So the lyrics to a famous song. She got close yesterday, folks. She got close. So I think she's got this one today. I think I think she's got this one today. But we have a very serious conversation that we need to get right into this morning. It's look, we can't avoid these kinds of conversations. When we do this show, there's obviously topics that we um, try to talk about because they're things that are of interest to the audience. There are going to be things that happen in which the topic is something that we respond to. And obviously, there was an incident, as the police, to quote the Bermuda Police Service, a critical incident that took place at the Robin Hood restaurant and bar yesterday. And at the end of the day, this is not new to Bermuda, the actual shootings. It's not something new that's been happening, but it's definitely
Yeah.
something that regardless of how often it happens or how long it's been happening, um, I don't think as a community we figured out how to stop it. So the question of the morning, and maybe I should go in just let me go to the because Leanna's gonna read give you updates in her news break, but I'll just go to the Royal Gazette really quickly and just share what basically what happened is the police are saying 4 people were injured um, uh, at the on Richmond Road at about 6 p.m. last evening in Bermuda. So 4 people were injured in a shooting incident last evening. Now, folks, for those of you who may not know where Richmond Road is, that is pretty much in the heart of the city of Hamilton. You have businesses around there. Um, that's still technically time when people leave work.
Mm-hmm.
So it's crazy, but I'm just gonna let it go down at the bottom of the screen. We want to discuss this morning. What is it gonna take to eradicate gun violence in our community? Like, not about how we got here or who's to
Right.
point a finger at or who to blame. This is a community problem. This is a community problem. So the question of the morning is, what will it take to eradicate gun violence in our community? And let me be clear when I ask this question. No one person has the answer to this. That's why it's a community question and a community problem. No one person has the answer. So
Yeah.
if you think of something and you don't feel like it's bad, but we, the community, we need to find a way. In
And
2009, it was too much. Go
sorry.
ahead, Sherry. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's just like, and how? You know what I mean? It took us some time to get here, right? And as you was indicating, it started way back when and has only progressed and gotten worse.
Mhm,
So what is it like? The only way that I feel like we can stop it from happening is, of course, look at how is it imported. And I know it's various ways and it's a whole different that's but what is that? What does that look like? They say you
mhm,
can't do nothing with a snake until you cut off its head. Where is the head? You know what
mhm,
I mean? And I feel like for me, living so much between both countries, I've always thought of gun violence to be such an American thing, and that made sense to me. The influx of guns and how it comes into Bermuda
mhm,
is mind blowing. And like you said, we can't. It's here. It is what it is.
mhm,
I don't know, Jamal. It's like get people out in the community, talk to these young people or older people because I can't even put an age on it,
mhm,
and have conversation as to why we feel it's okay to want to harm and shoot somebody. If you shoot somebody, you're not most times you don't come back from it, you
mhm.
know. And people are like, it's politics, it's this, the police involved in it, the politicians involved in it. But are we watching too many movies? Are we thinking that this is really how it is? Like, what is it? I don't know. I don't know. I don't
No,
know.
you make a great point, and I want to highlight what you said there in terms of politicians and politics and police. Like, I'm not mentioning them folks. This is a community problem. Sherry's right. This is a community problem. Kenton Trott says, when is enough going to be enough? When are we as a community going to stop turning a blind eye? I have been seeing the hurt and pain for 14 years. There are some nights I can't sleep because of what I've seen and experienced. Bermuda, we have to come together as one.
Does
And
he work at the hospital?
Kenton Trott's a police officer.
Oh, okay.
Trott has
Okay.
been the face of many of these investigations. Rosalind Famous
Mhm.
says, a friend of mine was there. And we don't want to see anyone hurt, but hopefully your friend is okay from a physical standpoint, but mentally and emotionally, I hope they're okay as well. But we
Yeah.
folks, like, what will it take to eradicate gun violence in our community? What are the solutions to this? Again, I'll be quite frank with you. You know, I don't know the answers. I have suggestions. I have suggestions. I want to share a story with you. So I'm from Gospel Lane. Gospel Lane is on Marsh Folly. Marsh Folly connects to St. Monica's Road. So I've heard many a gunshots and been outside after murders, right?
Mhm.
I remember um, when one particular murder happened, being out there and watching police and guys go back and forth, argue and power struggle. And people who now I see on social media saying enough is enough. People now on social media sending condolences. People now on social media with the answers saying to me back then, oh, stay away from that. Don't get involved. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Too many people were staying away. Too many people were not getting involved. The problem's not going to be solved if we're just sending condolences. if we're just praying for a better Bermuda, if we're just staying away. That's not how problems get solved. Shucks, I'm a married man. I knew that.
Problems get solved when you get involved. When you know as a mother, you know as a girlfriend, you know as a father, a brother, that this is going on in your household. You have some inkling. Stop it. Like, we are so afraid to, in interrupt or get in between what could be going on. But if everyone did it, if everyone was like, okay, this ain't going on in my house. Police come. I know that my son's doing X, Y, and Z. I know that my daughter's doing X, Y, Z. Because I don't want to just say that it's young men. It's
Mhm.
definitely young women as well. But it is just really annoying for you. You were basically living in those kinds of areas. I
Mhm.
didn't live in that area. However, my involvement comes on the other side, which people don't think about. When you work in family services, we're not just in there to look at abuse and neglect. When these situations happen with kids
Mhm.
involved, we have to get involved.
Mhm.
And on that end, to interview a child that
Mhm.
has witnessed something like that is like it goes beyond
Mhm.
that immediate reaction to harm somebody. The trickle
Mhm.
down effect is what people and what the young people
Mhm.
don't get.
Yeah,
And as a community, we have to be involved. We have to.
absolutely. Absolutely. What are your thoughts, folks? What will it take to eradicate gun violence in our community? Carla, John, and the Chica sharing.
It's more than the guns, it's the violent mentality and willingness to use them on fellow citizens. Absolutely.
Mhm.
And we need to stop turning a blind eye. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
dividing. Like you said, for me, I I feel like it started when cable entered into Bermuda, in all honesty. And how long was that, Jamal?
In the 80s sometime.
Sometime, right? You know what I mean? And I feel like that's when things started to be a little bit more, because now you're seeing that this is happening. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? And you want to become that.
Mhm.
But I don't know.
It's I hear you. And I want to go back to Carla's comment. She's right that it is more than gun violence, but I think in this particular, I think when it comes to gun violence and why the focus of the question is gun violence, because guns, they don't discriminate. If someone's going and they're violent and they're direct, like they're more likely to hit their target with a punch than they are with a gun,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Um, obviously all violence is a problem. Of the violent mentality community is the problem. But in a space, I saw a few comments yesterday saying things like Bermuda turning into America. Like this is stuff I think you kind of said it earlier. Like
Hmm.
these are things you don't expect, right? And I guess we know that we're here. Some of us don't know how we got here. Maybe many of us don't know how we got here. But now we need to figure out, how do we get away from this place that none of us is comfortable being. Kenton Trott says, you both hit the nail on the head. It's going to take us all. Indeed. Manuela John
Hmm.
says, it's possible that some of the guns have been in Bermuda for quite a while. It would be interesting to know if there's evidence of weapons used recently, which were found to be used a while ago. I remember a
Hmm.
report, I believe it was 2 years ago, Miss Manuela John, that there were only a certain number of guns on the street or so on. I remember that police report. I don't have it up right now, but those are questions that we can ask. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, mind you, the police probably can't release certain information about ballistics like that to us with investigations ongoing, but it would be good to know that, because that would, obviously close things down a bit in terms of where things are coming from. Go ahead, Sherry.
Where is the gang violence? The
Reduction.
group or the gang. Yes, where are they in this? And I say it like that in the sense of, I think about documentaries and people going into
Mhm.
certain things to see, they on national, you know what show I'm talking about, but that
Yeah.
they look at how drugs are coming into the country. Has
Mhm.
is Are they with the gang groups or whatever to figure out the pattern of how things happen, so we can
Mhm.
then work on breaking it down? Because that to me is probably the only way that we can, come to an end of it if we
Mhm,
understand from the beginning of how it
mhm.
starts. And
Yeah.
maybe they know
Yeah.
that, and Bermuda's too small to kind of put it out there. You know what I mean?
Well, I think that's the point of the question as well. Like, I think that's where we're going in terms of, or we're trying to go is to eradicate a problem. Like, you always want to go to its root, because if you
Right.
chop it off at the head, then it doesn't stop it growing. So I think that's a valid question. And I do believe that the Minister of National Security did say during the press conference yesterday that the gang reduction team, I forget the name, was present. But we would love to have a conversation with them to see, what is happening in with this. Garen Dolan says Bermuda as a whole needs to stop being a country of reacting and start being a country of being proactive. Well, here's a great comment, and here's the challenge that I have. The challenge that I have is I'm going to go back to last year because it was a very unique situation. Last year we had a young woman murdered.
Mm.
People were outraged. You thought that this was going to be the case that really changed things in Bermuda. To this day, no one's been charged for it, right?
Mhm.
You thought that a callous act like that would have been the one that changed the way the community saw this stuff. It didn't, right? And so while I understand and I appreciate people keep asking about Chevelle Dillon Burgess, and rightfully so, but someone's been charged for her case, folks.
Mhm.
Once someone's charged, what are you looking for the police to do? Yes, they're still looking for her. But we have cases like Miss Can, who was gunned down last year, right? She was gunned down and no one's been charged.
Mhm.
So, what have I noticed in reference to Mr. Derlin's comment about reacting? Is that we tend to react via social media.
Yeah.
We tend to react and have conversations. But then next week, we're back to normal. By the
And
time someone's arrested or even charged, we've forgotten about it almost. And it's not a topic of
mhm.
conversation. So, yes, I do agree with Mr. Derlin about the reaction. Let's go through a bunch of comments, Sherry, because we have a
Okay.
lot.
Mhm.
Angeline through Keisha Allen.
Okay. Our moral compass has definitely shifted, and this is seeing how we have raised our children. Very true. And this is the fruits of our actions.
Mm,
To follow up, what does stop turning a blind eye look like concretely? Neighborhood watch? Yeah. Yeah. And this is a lot of unresolved trauma in our community that needs to be addressed. Yeah,
mm,
I agree with all of those statements. Hence why when I say it, when cable entered into Bermuda, it took on a whole different thing. And I say that in the sense of what it is that we are feeding ourselves. What are
mhm,
we trying to copy, emulate? What are we trying to do? And on and exactly what you said, Jamal, this young lady was gunned down, murdered, and you've had several
mhm,
things. And I continue to ask, where is the gang reduction team in the sense? How come I don't see flyers out? How come I don't see town hall meetings? How come I don't
mhm,
see, are they meeting with the heads of these different groups that have issues with each other? We live on 22 square miles, and the fact that certain people can't go across Somerset Bridge, can't go
mhm,
town, can't
mhm,
leave the area. The biggest parish is what? Southampton? Like,
mhm. Yeah.
what I'm saying?
That-
Like, how is that even like
yeah.
the mentality of that?
Yeah. Let's go back. A lot of comments. The audience is very engaged. Kathy Rogers says more community involvement. And I think that's what Sherry is talking about with the gang
Hmm.
reduction team. More action from us, everyone. We have many daddyless homes. We need more male involvement in young boys' lives. We need to approach this problem from an earlier age. I hear that, but in the words of the late Laverne Furbett, I don't necessarily agree with daddyless homes. I don't. I hear it. Um, but I didn't grow up in a home with a male in
Hmm.
the house. Many of my friends didn't, and none of them are involved in any of this behavior. So I'm not. I'm not sure that that is necessarily um, something I can agree with. But just because I don't agree with it doesn't mean it's not true. Because
Exactly.
I could be that abnormality, right? I think that's a word. I can be that, right, that situation. So it could be a point. Now let me preface that as saying this. Though I didn't grow up with male in the house, I always had my father and uncles. They were all around. So I think I should be clear in saying that, because I don't want to be
Yes.
like, "Well, man, you're close with your no, seriously. Like I always, my uncles coached me. I worked with them. Like people who know me, yes. But I just want to add some clarity. Let's go through a lot of comments. We do have a lot, and I do want to get to them because this is a topic that the audience, it's a community question. Manuela
Mhm.
joined. Unfortunately, guns that come into the country may not come as a finished product. Shikarina says, hate it, but military state / door-to-door searches may be required.
Mm.
Keisha Allen Smith says, addressing the island's social and emotional problems is crucial. When A. Keynes, the violence is created by people who are displaced in the community and they are given a place in their society and feel supported. I don't believe these acts will continue. Minister Tanae Furbett
Exactly.
says, trauma in childhood follows us into adulthood. Trauma as input into our lives at any stage of growth of our lives, may have a negative output at some point. Addressing trauma should be continuous at the point at which it happens, as it will be a constant state of
Mm.
recovery. I'm Sherry. Just take the last few comments and then we'll wrap it
Okay.
up. Kathy Rogers.
We all keep saying until it hits close to home, how much closer does it need to hit? Why can't we come up
Mhm,
with a solution?
mhm.
Black fathers, stand up and take your place. And Bobby Singh says, exactly, Jamal. We just asked him what happened with the murder when Sunset passed. It seems we're all in shock for a week. And then forget, we are all to blame for the perpetual cycle of violence.
And happy belated birthday to you, Bobby. I know that's not the time, but happy 50th belated birthday to you. Let's wrap it up in saying this here. You know, and we'll bring Liana in, she'll probably have more. But I read a quote not long ago. Quote, we are where we are today as a result of what we did 5 years ago.
Yes.
Is this always the case? Probably not. But if we look back at how we reacted when gun violence erupted in 2009, we'd probably agree that how we react today is a result of our actions then.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the answers. What I do have is suggestions. Suggestions that education and opportunity is the way to a healthier and safer community. Every last person in Bermuda has something deep inside them. And it's up to the individual and those around them, including the community, to get the best out of them.
Yeah.
That means, I put a quote up on the weekend that making more money doesn't eliminate past or current trauma.
Mm-mm.
So let's bring Leanna in,
Yeah.
folks. Again, we can
Childhood trauma is a real thing.
indeed we can continue this conversation tomorrow. And let's bring Lee in. We have Brian backstage. Lee, good morning. How are you today?
Good morning, guys. Sad news of another difficult situation plaguing our island, but
Mhm.
here
It
we
is.
are.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. And I know, our job is to discuss things that are going on in the community, but we have a lot of fun on this show discussing ways how we can improve our community. And so I just want our audience to understand that we're here every day looking at ways to avoid these kind of situations, to bring people like Keisha Allen Smith on, or Minister Tanae Furbett, or Charles H. Jeffers, people that are doing stuff out there that can, provide solutions to the problems that we're discussing. So my hope is that we continue to have these conversations when this show is over and we go to work and we talk to we don't know
Mm-hmm.
if some of our colleagues may have a relative that's impacted by something like this. This is traumatic for the community, and we can't think that the way out of it is, as someone said, to react now and forget later until it happens again. Lee, we're going to send it over to you.
Thanks, Jamal and Sherry, and happy hump day to everyone. I hope you all are having a great start to your day. I'm Leanna Lambert, and it's time for the Daily Hour News Break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Well, unfortunate news coming in today as sadly terror rung out at a city restaurant yesterday afternoon in broad daylight when a gunman came in and opened fire. Now, emergency services responded to the incident around 6 p.m. at the Robin Hood Bar on Richmond Road of reports of a shooting that left at least 4 people injured. Initial rumors circulated suggesting that an off duty police officer was killed in the attack. However, acting commissioner of police Darren Simons refused or denied the claim. Those wounded were taken to hospital for treatment. Police are appealing for witnesses in the incident to get in contact. Meanwhile, National Security Minister Renee Ming condemned what she described as a heinous act that has brought so many people in harm's way. She went on to call for calm across the island and encourage those to come forward. Meanwhile, the policy that will require foreign nationals with only limited exceptions to be fully vaccinated to fly to the United States begins November 8th. Yes, among those exceptions will be for children, people who have to visit for emergency or humanitarian reasons, and people who cannot have the vaccine for medical reasons. Others who may be allowed to enter the U.S. without vaccination include people involved in some COVID-19 vaccine clinical trials, travelers on non-tourist visas from countries with low availability of vaccines, members of the armed forces and their families, airline crew, sailors, and diplomats. Now, these travelers, including U.S. citizens and permanent residents, will need to still show proof of a negative test taken inside 1 day of travel to the U.S. And the Victoria Park Bandstand, an historic Hamilton landmark which dates back to 1889, is set to undergo a major facelift. Now, the last works took place over 15 years ago. The city of Hamilton said that the project is to take 7 weeks to complete, but the park will remain open while work on the cast iron structure is carried out. It is the only one left of its kind on the island. Taking a look at today's weather, we have a high near 80 and a low near 73 degrees. We'll see early clouds with a few showers. However, it will give way to brighter skies as the day progresses. Now, conditions will remain windy with a few showers as deep low pressure spins to our distant northwest. The low will usher a cold front over the island early today before conditions begin to gradually improve. Towards the end of the week, sunny weather develops as high pressure ridging builds in from the south. That's all for our daily hour news break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. But before we go, here's a little helpful tip from your favorite community pharmacist. Medications and their correct usage are a complex area. Never hesitate to contact any one of our People's Pharmacists with any queries or concerns you may have. When it comes to medications, supplements, and herbal remedies, it's better to be safe than sorry. Now let's head back to Jamal and Sherry in the studio for today's Daily Focus.
Thanks so much for that, Lee. And I know it's a crazy busy week, and obviously you getting the news together, having to do a story like that, it just can be a hard one on what you're doing. But thank you for what you do, and we will see you tomorrow.
See you guys tomorrow.
All righty. Go ahead. I'm for. All right, folks. Real quickly, I want to share something. Last week, we take a lot of feedback, and if you have feedback for the show, it does not go to me, but some people do send feedback to me. But I got some feedback, and I got a lot of feedback, and a lot of you are very honest with me, and I appreciate you being honest. But someone wrote, and they had an issue with something that I said regarding diversity and inclusion. Unless that person says I can name them in the comments, then I won't say their name. But they had an issue with, they said that my comments come across disrespectful to people, Black men and women who are doing the work for diversity and inclusion, because what I stated was that I'm not a fan of diversity and inclusion based on how I understand it. That said, the person, I listened to what they said, and I was like, maybe I'm reacting based on what I don't understand. And with more information, my mind is here to be changed. Long story short, is the reason I say that feedback's helpful and healthy is because this conversation, the conversations we have in the show is not about me and what I believe. And I want to say that because of that conversation, I am now going to be a volunteer in Palm Beach County to mentor in the space of diversity and inclusion. So I'm going to be learning a bit more of it and taking on that over here. So I say that because you never know what your feedback, what your comments, how your reactions can impact people that may benefit from the work I may do now. Now, does that mean that I completely agree with the purpose of diversity and inclusion? At this point, probably not. But I would like to get involved to see what it is, how I can change it from what I don't like about it, and then we go from there. So to the person who gave that feedback, I can say it, Carla John, Carla John, she was very direct with me on Friday, and I appreciate her for it. But I tell people all the time, it's not about taking feedback personal. It's really about taking it and using it to become better. And why do I think this is great to say right now? Because we're talking about a serious issue like gun violence in our community, right? It's not about anyone being right or wrong. It's about taking our suggestions and using them to become a safer and better community. We'll be right back with Brian from One Communications. Do not go anywhere.
The use of butter goes back millennia, and its exalted status in the cooking world and in so many kitchens is undeniable. Around 3,000 years ago, ghee, or clarified butter, was developed in India and is the cooking oil of choice in many regions of the subcontinent, and compared to butter has a higher smoke point, reduced dairy solids, and a more robust, nuanced flavor. And to Organic Valley, creators of a certified organic version of this versatile traditional staple. This month we're featuring Organic Valley Ghee Clarified Butter. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
Mom's celebrating her 70th birthday next month. Have you noticed her age is catching up with her?
Yeah. Plus, she's having a hard time getting up and around like she's used to. I would sure hate to see her fall.
At Medical House Limited, we can help make life situations easier. We have electric beds, motorized scooters, bath stools, walkers, you name it.
Mom's been real good to us. We'll get her birthday and Christmas gifts from Medical House.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dendy Town Field, number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke. Telephone 292-3622.
All right, welcome back to the big show. Sherry Vanderpool, I'm Jamal Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by Medical House, One Communications, Lindo's, and our friends over at People's Pharmacy. Without further ado, let's bring in our guest for the day, Brian Lonergan. He's coming from One Communications. We love One and they love us, I think. Brian.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, my friend?
Well, great. Actually, I'm just learning about this terrible news from yesterday on your show right now. So I live 250 meters away from there on Woodbourne, and we could hear all this happening last night, but we had, of course, no idea what was happening. So anyway, it's terrible.
You know what's interesting about that, Brian, real quickly, is we can't see. Actually, your camera's is it black on your side, Sherry?
Yes.
Yeah, you can't see you real quickly.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it's black. Yeah, his camera's try to sign. It looks like you're frozen. Sign out, then sign back in, Brian.
Okay.
That's no problem. Sign out, sign back in. But here's what's interesting about that. The chair of the board for Bermuda Communications Group, which is the parent company of the Daily Hour, she always says that you guys need to remain conscious that a lot of things that you discuss and are said on your show, people find out for the first time when they watch it. And the reality of it is, Brian, we've got you now. Perfect. But the reality, I was just saying that, there are people who will find out about this morning, and it's so close to them. It's concerning. It's very concerning. So, yeah.
Terrible. And I think we're just giving our daughter a bath. And we can hear the sirens. Of course, we'd never dream that that's what happened.
Yeah. It's a crazy time. It shouldn't be happening, but Yeah, we've got to deal with it. But Brian, thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate everything you and One Communications continue to do. But let's just speak before we get into the topic. How challenging has the pandemic made it to launch new products and services, or has it made it because you still have technology?
Well, the perfect example of a product that we launched without without much chance of people being able to try it was the new carry-on roaming product. So we had this really cool roaming product lined up so that you could, for $8 a day flat, you could use 100 megabytes of data when you traveled, and you didn't have to worry about any kind of bill shock. And so finally last year, almost exactly a year ago, we launched it anyway, just for those people who could manage to get off the island and travel again. And, so that's a great example of what should have been a big splash in the market for everybody, and nothing we could do about it to help people enjoy it more. So hopefully now when people travel more and more, even I got off the island recently, which is great. And I got to go home and see my family, and sure enough, carry-on roaming was there, and it worked great. So hopefully more people will use it.
I remember that, and I was like, man, I don't think people are traveling right now, but when they will, they'll benefit. But I get you with the big splash. Yeah, I definitely get you with the big splash, Sherry.
What are some ways One Communications has had to evolve to meet the demands of their clients throughout the pandemic?
Yeah, so obviously we have empty offices for a lot of the year. There's a lot of people who we would ordinarily see every day who now we don't walk by their desk every day. And we've moved completely, in a lot of cases, to online. So Microsoft Teams, talking with each other like we are right now. That has been, it was a challenge at first, but now we're really good at it. And now we can collaborate in a whole room full of people and make sure that we're still getting people the products that they want, and in a timely manner.
Okay. And you have, of course, always got products rolling out throughout different times of the year. What is your latest product and service that you would like to share with us?
So earlier this year, we launched our home automation and security product. And back then, we were strongly focused on the automation side, the outdoor and indoor cameras, and we weren't really sure what area people were going to gravitate to. So we launched it, and it's been since March, and we learned a lot about what people wanted. So we really refined our offer now. And this week, we kind of relaunched it with new simple products around home security. So we learned that it's unlikely that we're going to be able to go up against Amazon and Google in terms of the devices that they offer. So, if you're looking for kind of the toy camera to have around the house to watch the dog with, we have that, of course, but it's not exactly what we're trying to get to. What we want is to be a serious business home security company. And so now that's what we've launched. We have two products. One is the home surveillance, the home video monitoring service, which comes with 3 cameras professionally installed around your home. And of course, it comes with the app so that you can watch what's happening, but also you can set up smart notifications so that you can ask it to notify you when you see a person or even an animal or a car or whatever. And you can set up tripwires, not real tripwires, of course, but like digital tripwires across your driveway or across a pathway of any kind. And it's $30 a month. And we think that with 3 cameras, most people can cover pretty much every angle. They can stay in tune with what's happening around their property. The other product, the bigger one, is the actual home security one, the professionally monitored home security. And again, it comes with the camera. It comes with door sensors and window sensors and motion sensors and a fire alarm, and the app again, of course. And this way you can set up contacts so that if there is an emergency, our monitoring station will phone you. It will phone the contacts on your list. And then if it can't reach you or your contacts, it will phone the authorities. It will phone the police or the fire department. And that we think is something that will bring people a lot of peace of mind. And that one is $50 per month. So no charge for the hardware. There's $100 for the install fee because, it's 3, 4, 5 hours sometimes of the installs. And for $50 a month, that's it. And you can professionally monitor your home for any kind of activity or fire.
Wow, Brian, that's awesome. I'm just like, the whole tripwire thing is like,
Yeah.
Hold on, can I say something? I think this is brilliant as an adult, right? I think this is brilliant, like everything you want in a house. But then I'm like, I'm so glad this wasn't available during my childhood.
Yeah.
listen.
So you can avoid that actually. So what you do is you set it up so that these notifications will only trigger if you're not home. So what it can do is sense that your phone is in the house and just not bother you with these things while you're home. But as soon as you leave, then you'll get these notifications. Or
Brian, you're never snuck out of a house before. That's what that sounds like. To try to sneak back in. You ain't done that before, Brian.
This is honestly, this is these are the kind of devices like the stuff I like to hear about, especially right before Christmas. Like I'm like, man, this is what's on everyone's Christmas list this year.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So it is fun. That's the cool thing, but it's also serious. It's serious protection. It's really good. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, in saying that, Brian, you talked about some of the benefits. What are any other benefits? We talk about security, peace of mind. What other benefits would it be to have these different systems in your home?
So there's also the home automation side of things. So when you have the home security system, you have the security panel, and now you can add other smart devices to your home. So smart plugs, smart air conditioning thermostats, so that you can control the temperature of your home from wherever you are. Or, like I said, with the geofencing on your way home, say you're driving home, when you cross a certain radius in terms of the distance from your home, your air conditioning can turn on, so that when you get home, you're all set. That way, because you don't know what time you're going to be home sometimes, right? So it doesn't make sense to always set a timer. It definitely makes sense that if you're on the way home, then your air conditioning turns on. And smart plugs are great to reduce your energy bill. And there's a water sensor so that you can detect floods. And then, just integration with Google Home and Alexa is also a lot of fun.
Hold on, I'm about to cut you off. So hold on. I see people almost daily complaining about their Belco bill, right?
I'm one of them. Yeah.
There you go, right? You literally just provide the solution, because when I'm in Bermuda, they'd be like, it's hot, and I just don't do the heat well. So living in Florida, the AC is on all day, every day. People in Bermuda be like, oh no, if you're not in the house, turn the AC off, don't leave it running. I'm like, but when I get back in, it's going to be hot. That right there, that you can turn it on when you're in the vicinity, that is brilliant, Brian. Seriously, that is brilliant.
Yeah, it's really good. I use it all the time because I'm a Canadian, and I've been here for 6 years, and I still have icicles in my veins, and so I can't take this heat.
Bermuda heat is a disrespectful, different kind of heat, and I like what you said, Jamal, in the sense of when you're in Bermuda, you got to turn it on, go sit outside for a little while, 30 minutes, then come back in to enjoy it. So how can people sign up for this? How can your customers sign up and get these new plans and get all of this video stuff?
If you were to go to our website right now, the very first thing you would see is the home security page, and you can click on that, and you can order it online. You can call us and have it ordered. Basically, what happens is they'll line it up, and some people will come out in a truck, and they will get up on ladders, and they will install it, and it will be done very well. We partner with Sound Decision. So if you've ever had a TV put in from those guys, you know that they are high quality installations. And then it's $50 a month. So I will say that you need to be a fiber wire internet customer. So in order for this to work, because of the way the cameras work on Wi-Fi, you do have to have our internet, which you should anyway, because it's the best internet. And you know, we have our one home Wi-Fi solution, which is the Eero units that you just plug a couple of them around your house, and you have full mesh Wi-Fi everywhere in your home. So.
All righty, Brian. Honestly, you guys are just doing the technology thing. It looks like you know, it's a one-stop shop for as far as technology goes. Is there anything else we can? Because Christmas is coming up. Look, Halloween is like after Halloween, the carols have to start, right? They have to. I'm gonna ask you this. I asked Shira when she comes on. Is there anything you can tell us first that you're gonna be, you know, doing anything special as Christmas?
So we always do, of course, right? So we know the iPhone 13 has launched, and that will be a big part of the holiday season. Of course, the iPhone 12 and the 11 are still hot, so they will also be. Obviously, every year it's a lot about smartphones. This year, it will also be about home security. And I can't tell you what the offers are yet, but we are, again, this year working really closely with a lot of the businesses in the community.
Okay.
Last year, if you remember, we worked with, I can't remember how many, dozens. And Amani's cookies was the hit.
Yes.
You know, those cookies were fantastic. So this year again, we're working with a large network of local businesses to put some really fun things together for the holiday season.
All righty. No, the campaign, it was a commercial you did. It was probably the most heartwarming commercial in Bermuda.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
Where you involved different businesses in the community, small businesses. It was great. Actually, if I find, I'm gonna play it again on the show because I want people to understand that's what One Communication has meant to us as a partner. Like it's just amazing how you were inclusive. I think it includes Classic Kids. I think the clothing store, Amani's Cookies. I'm trying to remember the top of my head. I can't remember all, but it was great work. So we're looking forward to more of that this year. Before you go, anything else you want to say? Just go to your website and people can learn more.
Yeah, go to the website, have a look, and feel free to reach out to any of us. If you know somebody who works for One Communication, ask them. They'll know about it. They can tell you. And that being said, just a shout out to all of our employees. They've been doing really great work despite the difficulties of the last year and a half or so. So we're always really grateful for all the work that they do.
Indeed. And Brian, we thank you and everyone at One Communications for the work you continue to do and your support behind what we try to do and having these important conversations during the day. To me, even a conversation like this, it's not about marketing or commercial, it's about fulfilling a need in the community. And it's interesting how the conversation earlier about safety and gun violence actually led to what this conversation is about securing ourselves and so on. So thank you for what you continue to do. And we look forward to the next time you guys come on.
Thank you for having me. It's been fun as usual.
Talk soon.
Bye, Brian.
Okay. Bye now.
Alrighty. Brian, they're from One Communications, folks. Always a pleasure having them on. Really good people there. Folks, we're going to give you it's the movement moment. Do not go anywhere because we're going to have a more conversation. I'm actually in talks. I want to try to get someone from the Bermuda Police Service on tomorrow. If Shara's okay with that, we can have someone from the Bermuda Police Service to speak about what's going on and how the community can assist. So stick with us with that. But here's your movement moment. Don't go anywhere. You can win something. Don't go.
Yeah, you can.
The way she is for sure. You go and win something. All right. With the daily play, it's a say it, don't sing it. So she remembered that. But don't go anywhere. Coming up, we're gonna have some fun with you.
This movement moment brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Together, we can illuminate your path to wellness.
Welcome to today's movement moment with Tamara Denal, brought to you by People's. Tamara, what are we discussing today?
Good morning, Jamal, and good morning to your listening audience. Every October 31st, I am reminded of the tremendous legacy that my family has created in People's Pharmacy. You may have noticed that this month I'm wearing my People's uniform. People's Pharmacy in the community, specifically in the Black community in Bermuda, has become a legacy. when I started out in the business, to me, it was a job. It took a very long time for me to realize and recognize the value of people's to the legacy, the legacy that has been created for our community. In my opinion, legacy is to purpose what fuel is to fire. So from the moment that I realized the value of the legacy created with people's, it fueled a fire in me to create the business that we have today, to create a foundation for those who come after me to build upon, to create a space within our community for all people to be proud of. So like I said, the family business opened on October 31st, 1984. It was a mere 600 square feet. I believe we opened with 5 or 6 employees. I have to look back at pictures. And today we stand 10,000 square feet in our main location. We have a second location in the hospital. At last count, probably up near 50 employees when you consider full and part-time. And definitely a pharmacy for all people in Bermuda. So this month, and to conclude this month, I just want to take a moment and honor the legacy that my mother, Donna Pearman, has created right there on Victoria Street, once known as the back of town, or now known as the Northeast Hamilton Empowerment Zone. And it just started from an idea she had in her mind.
Thank you for tuning into this movement moment. To enjoy the benefits of the full episode, check us at Instagram at MVMT with Tamara Donnell or at People's BDA.
And that is a story and a legacy there. Props and congratulations. 37 years to People's Pharmacy, 37 years in business. Thanks again to Brian for coming on from One Communications. Folks, if you appreciated that conversation, found it helpful, you know what to do. Give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Don't forget to do what Mark Arthur C. Phillips is always telling you to do, and go on YouTube, folks, and make sure you smash the like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Do not go anywhere. We're coming right back with today's Daily Play, brought to you by Heineken 0.0.
Same smooth sounds, different name. BCG Radio. Tune in every Tuesday through Sunday at 7 p.m. Bermuda time as we bring you the love, romance, sexiness with nighttime jams. Only on your station for conversations and entertainment. BCG Radio. Download the app, available for Android and Apple devices.
All right, welcome back to the big show. She's Sherry Vanderpool. I'm Jamal Hope. And thanks again to Linda's Medical One Communications and People's Pharmacy, celebrating 37 years, folks. That's huge. That's huge. Yes, Kathy Rogers, People's Pharmacy, congratulations, she says, as well as Rosalind Famous, congratulations to People's Pharmacy. A Black business has expanded and grown and still exists, folks, and they are rolling. Terry,
Black female
we did
business
mention our Braves. Yes, there we go. A woman, women, Black. Hey, let's speak on it now. Terry K talking about PS, the Braves won 6-2 in game 1 of the World Series. Well, Terry, unlike you, I watched Good Day Bermuda start to finish, so you obviously didn't catch the beginning of this show, lady. Folks, that said, if you haven't watched Good Day Bermuda, please do. They're Jackie and Terry, but like you have to watch it to understand it. They are funny. Like it's
they had good. A good one today.
Yes, they did. And even Monday, they that conversation about they spoke about the documentaries about food today.
What the health? Yeah, what the health. And the fish one. Yeah. And so Terry hasn't converted me completely.
Someone's got you.
But
someone's got you. All right, here we go. I'm rooting for you. Karen Edward Simmons says, Sherry Vanderpool, you got this. Take his breath away and give it your best shot. Terry, look,
thanks, Karen.
Gonna show smarty pants. My bad. Look, they in for you. All right, here we go. It's time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Heineken 0.0 Great Taste No Alcohol. Sherry, are you ready?
I'm here. Come on, let's go.
All right, just say it, don't sing it. Quote, under the moonlight, you see a sight that almost stops your heart. You try to scream, but terror takes the sound before you make it.
One more time. It's the male.
All right. Under the moonlight, you see a sight that almost stops your heart. You saw it in the comments.
I didn't. I honestly didn't. Thriller was who I thought first. I did think Thriller first before I asked you to repeat it.
It's Thriller. Everyone got it. But we're gonna give it to Shikarena too. So Sherry got it, folks. Sherry got it, folks. We're gonna give it to her.
So before I asked, I was like, that sounds like Thriller, but I'm just gonna clarify. That's like me going back over the test, make sure I answered everything correctly.
Hold on. No. So if you're doing the SATs, you can't say, is it answer C? You can't do that. Right?
No, but it could be what I did say, which was I went back over to make sure that things were correct. So I did the verbal of that. Come on, Jamal.
You can't do verbal out loud in the SATs. You can't talk out loud. You got kicked out the class. I'm sorry. I just love to make it difficult, folks. And
but I got it.
We're gonna give it to her. Any final thoughts on today's show? Oh my, hold on. Go ahead. Nah, she.
Everybody has Jamal. You did the dance before. Tell me you did it.
I've watched it.
So come on.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna get you to do it one day. I'm gonna get you to do it. First of all, your hands are wrong. You look like a rabbit. It's Thriller.
Oh, okay.
Not bunny hop.
Oh, okay.
Today's discussion, let's just move on.
She's working on me. Yeah, she's working on me. Go ahead.
Let's move on. Community involvement is very important. This is a say it situation, and very unfortunate. And we need to get involved, and we need to come up with real solutions before it continues to trickle down into the next generation, and then the next generation. And we're here, 10 years later talking about the same thing. As far as One Communications, yes, with the whole video monitoring and everything, and the tripwire by far is one of the best options, I think. So, please go out and definitely look for that service and plan.
Indeed. No, I appreciated the discussion this morning, and I'm thankful for the audience being as engaging as they were with it, because some people could say it was just talk, but to me, talking is a place to start, brainstorming ideas of how we can get to the place that we all want to be. So thank you to the audience for continuing to engage on that level. As far as the conversation with Brian, I love it when our partners come on, because it's not us trying to sell people stuff. It's trying to educate them. And to me, when you're coming on, you're trying to fulfill a need that people have. And based on what happened yesterday, people want to feel more secure, right? So appreciate today's conversation. Sherry, they're still rooting for you. Karen Edwards-Simmons taking credit for your video. She says, see, I was your good luck charm. Sherry Vanderpool, you got it. Even the girls, she's like, get him, Sherry. Like they, my goodness. She said, wasn't famous first time I gotta say it, don't sing it challenge. So well, folks, yesterday the answer was Michael Jackson Thriller. Today the song was Thriller. What will tomorrow be? Name that place. Sherry, you need some daily inspiration because we gotta go.
I'm gonna remember that I did this. You're never too ill to set another goal or dream a new dream. Do you know who said that, Jamal?
I don't, but it sounds like somebody who was old. It wasn't you, was it?
And I'm mad that you laughed that hard at your ill joke.
Sorry.
That's Braun.
That's Braun. Folks.
Wrap it up, Jamal. Wrap it up.
Thanks again to our partners,
Yes,
Medical House,
yes,
One
much.
Communications, Linda's, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we will be back to do this again with you tomorrow. She's Sherry Vanderpool. I'm Jamal Hartman. My friends, please do make it a great day. Sherry, you still my friend?
We'll see.
Cheers to you.
And,
Cheers.